Hey lovelies, if you're returning, welcome back. If you're new, welcome to the family. Today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how I do my curried goat. So when I'm seasoning the meat, I do a blended puree seasoning, and I also do extra seasoning that I put down when the meat is near to finish. Before I prep my seasoning, I've got my meat here that I've cleaned and I've washed it with vinegar. Okay guys, you want to be washing your meat with either vinegar, lemon, lime, you know, something along that lines to cut the rawness and just clean the meat. Okay, so on my cutting board here I've got I'm going to tell you everything in total, and then I'll show you separately how I separate for the blended mix and for the others that I'm just going to cut up and put in the pot. So I've got 4 pegs of garlic, 1 large tomato, 1.5 of large onion, 8 pimento seeds, I've got 6 springs of thyme, half of a Scotch bonnet pepper, I've got 2 stalks of scallion, and that's that for this bit here. So what I'm going to do is the extra half of the onion, I'm going to add it to my blending bottle here. I've got a little bit of water at the bottom so that the seasoning can be blended nicely and there's no problems with that. So I'm just going to add my half of onion that I pre-chopped earlier. Don't know if my surfaces are clean. To the water, and then I've got 2/3 of the Scotch bonnet that I cut up, so it's half in total, but I've taken 2/3 of that off. My thyme in there. I've got 2 of the 4 pegs of garlic, which I'm just gonna put in the bottle as well. And then the scallions, I freeze my scallions guys, so that's why they look like that. And then my 8 pimento seeds, just gonna pop in there. Okay guys, so I'm just going to just put this on the blender and blend it until it forms a paste, and then I'll be back. Okay love, so once it's blended, this is what it's looking like. Okay, so I'd say it was around 50 ml of water that was in there. Alright love, so I've got my goat meat here. I'm just going to add in the mixture that I blended earlier. And I'm going to add in the rest of the seasoning that wasn't blended out, so on the cutting board as well. So I've got a whole onion, the other 1/3 of the Scotch bonnet, 2 pegs of garlic, and 1 tomato. Right, so I'm just going to mix this in. Separate off the onions. Don't worry if it's not perfectly mixed in just yet, because you're still going to have to mix it again once you add in your other seasonings, the powdered ones. Right guys, so I'm going to wash off my hands now and then come back and do the rest. Okay people, so now that's all mixed in, my hands are washed, I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of salt. Leveled tablespoons, by the way, not heaped. And I'm using table salt. You use whatever salt you want to use. totally up to you. I'm going to do 1 tablespoon of ground black pepper. And then I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of dried mixed herbs. Guys, I'm just going to add curry powder now. So I'm using the better pack, whatever you want to call it. As always, it's down to you. You can use whichever one that you want. I just find that this is the best quality for me. Right, so you just put on enough to cover your meat that you're doing. Obviously you might not do the same amount of meat that I am, so that's that. And guys, if you've mixed it in and you feel like you want to add some more curry powder, there's nothing or no one stopping you. You can add more curry powder if you want. Do bear in mind though that you will need to burn some curry powder in the oil on the stove before you actually start cooking your meat, okay? And if you're not familiar with curry powder and all of that, and you don't know how much to use, probably add a bit at a time and see how it goes for you. And then if you want to add more, you can always top it up. But that way you don't put too much in there and you don't put too little and think that it's too late. So there you go, guys. So you can leave this to marinate. If you don't have a lot of time, I'd probably say give it at least an hour to 2 hours. If you can, leave it to marinate overnight, which is better for you. If you're not going to use it straight away or you're not going to use it the next day, you can put it in freezer bags and you can have it stored in your freezer, seasoned up already. So all you have to do is cook it. Okay, guys? So I'm just going to go wash off my hands, prep my pot, and then I'll be back. Alright loves, so like I said, you're going to need to burn your curry in your oil for a bit before you start. I don't literally mean burn it like burn your food, burn. I mean you're just going to literally just cook it in the oil on a low heat for a few minutes, probably say 3 to 4 minutes on a low heat, medium heat, depending on, you know, how well your stove works. And then you literally just want it to be looking like this, okay? So it's not piled up at the bottom or anything, it's just there. So you just coat the bottom of your pot with oil, and I've got 2 tablespoons of curry powder in here. Obviously if you're using a small quantity of meat, you don't need to do that much, okay? So just gauge it based on how much meat you're doing. So I'm just gonna turn this up a bit because I've got it on a low heat. I'm just going to put it on a medium heat, and I'm going to start taking the pieces of meat and putting it in. Okay guys, so don't put in the extra seasoning like the tomatoes and all of that in there just yet. Okay, right now we just want the meat to go into the pot. So I'm just using my hand, I've got my glove obviously, to take off any onions or garlic or tomato that might come up on the meat. If you find that you're not moving quick enough and your meat is burning as you're putting in the others, just turn your stove down. And be careful as well, because the oil can splash up if you're not moving quick enough to cover the oil in the pot with the meat. So just bear that in mind. Alright guys, so I'm literally just going to continue this until all of the meat is in the pot, and then I'll show you guys. Alright, so all of my meat is in the pot minus my seasoning. Pot's on a high heat, so I'm just going to mix it. So I'm just barely sealing the meat, just a bit, and then I'm going to start topping up with water. Make sure whilst you're cooking your goat, you've always got hot water available to you, whether you do it on the pot, on the stove, sorry, or whether you're using a kettle. Just make sure you've got water available to you. So I'm just going to put in water. And don't put too much at one time, because that's how you lose your flavour and the meat don't taste right. You just want to top it up so it's just covering your meat, okay? So once you top up with the water, you're just going to mix it a bit. Make sure you mix it properly so you've got everything. And then you just want to settle them into the water, make sure that everything is covered, and then you're just going to leave it on a high heat. Don't cover the pot over fully, otherwise it will actually boil over into the stove. So you literally just want to cover it like that and leave it on a high heat to just cook, okay? And you can leave your seasoning in the bowl that it was in beforehand, that's fine, no problem. Alright, so I'm going to let this cook down and then come back and show you guys, and I'm going to keep topping it up until it's nearly cooked. Okay, lovely, so the goat has been on now for around 45 minutes. So I'm just going to have a look at it, give it a mix, see where it's at. So guys, it's coming along nicely, but it's still not cooked fully yet, okay? So I'm just going to add some more water to it, top it up, as you know, just to cover the meat, and then give it a mix again and cover it and let it cook. Okay, so again, I've just covered my meat with the water. Just gonna mix it around. Ooh. Okay guys, so I'm gonna cover this back and turn the heat back up to high, and then leave it to cook and then come back to you guys. Okay loves, so had it boiling on again, and this is where we're at. So mix it up, let you have a look, see. we're still not ready to stop cooking yet. So in total, it's been about an hour and a half so far. So I'm just gonna top up the water again and then cover it down and leave it to this thing. Guys, remember not to cover the pots completely, because if you do, it will boil over into your stove, okay? So just give it a mix. And then make sure that they're all covered. And then you're going to cover your pot. At this point, if you want to add potatoes and carrots to your curry goat, you'd start washing your vegetable, peeling them and cutting them up, and you can just add them to your onions and whatever else you've got in the bowl and just mix it in, leave it there until you're ready for it. You don't have to, not everyone puts carrots and potatoes or either or. Some people just literally cook the curry goat, put in their onions and everything, cook it down, and that's it for them. But today I'm going to be using carrots and potatoes. Once again, guys, you don't have to do it that way. You can literally just finish it off with your onions, tomato and everything else that's in the bowl and cook it down. So I'm just telling you, I am going to be using carrots and potatoes in mine today. So I've got 4 potatoes that I've cut up, and I've used 1 large carrot, which I've just peeled, cut down the middle, and then cut it up into smaller pieces, okay? Like that. And then the size of the potatoes. Not too big and not too small. So I've done like bite-sized pieces basically. So guys, I'm going to let this cook down again and then get back to you. Alright love, so it's reduced down once again. So I'm just going to show you where it's at. There we go. So I'm going to do 1 more top up with water. And then after that we should be ready to put in our seasoning. And if you're doing carrots and potato as well, you can add in your carrots and potato after this one. Alright, so we just want to cover it with the water and again give it a mix. And then leave it on a high heat again to just cook. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that again and then get back to you. Alright love, so this is where we are at now. I'm going to be adding a Knorr vegetable cube, just 1. And a Knorr chicken cube, just 1. I'm just going to turn this down a bit because I do not want it to look. It's just splashing off everywhere. Right guys, so I'm going to add in my potatoes, carrots and the rest of my seasoning now. Apologies for any noise that you might hear. These are around there playing. Yeah, so I'm just gonna mix this all in. And then I'm going to get my kettle. I'm going to add some hot water to the pot now. So again, I'm just going to top up above the meat. veg and all of that. And then I'm going to leave this on a medium heat to just cook right through. And guys, this will be the final cook down, so this is where your gravy and everything gets made. If you obviously have cooked it down too much, you can always top it up with a little water at a time. Guys, obviously if you're not cooking as much as I am, then you probably won't need as much time to cook it down. Also bear in mind that not every single bit of meat is the same, so you might get meat from your butchers or your supermarket or wherever and it cooks a lot quicker than mine. That's perfectly fine, there's no problem in that. If you find that your meat is cooking faster than my guidelines, then you're more than welcome to put in your seasoning and your vegetables if you choose to before I actually did mine. I've literally been cooking this meat now for 3 hours and 10 minutes at this point. So I'm just literally going to leave it to just cook down now on a low heat, and then I'll show you guys what the end results are, okay? Okay, love, so at this stage it's actually easy for your meat to catch and burn, even if there is liquid at the top. So what you want to do is probably every 5 minutes just give a little mix and check that it's not sticking to the bottom and burning, okay guys? So just literally, as you've been doing when you top up, just mix it around a bit, because as you can see the gravy is thicker and the meat will start sticking to the bottom and burning, okay? And we don't want that because we've come a long way. So just give it a mix and just make sure that it's not sticking too much, and then you just check your gravy consistency as well. I want my one to be thicker than that, so I'm going to leave it for another little while. And there you go. So just keep an eye on it and just give it a mix every now and again. Okay lovelies, so in total it's taken 3 hours and 45 minutes to finish cooking, and this is the end result. My lighting isn't doing me any justice guys, literally, but yeah, as you can see there, it's all cooked down nicely. You can eat your bones or whatever it is that you want to do. The meat is coming off the bone and it's nice and soft. It's not too chewy, it's not hard to eat or any of that. So guys, there you go. Obviously your meat might take longer, it might be done quicker than my one, that's fine, it's up to you. You can obviously just keep taking off a little piece at a time and testing it, testing the flavor to make sure it's not got too much salt, too much pepper or whatever. Also checking that the meat is cooking to how you would like it to cook, okay guys? So just bear that in mind when you are cooking, okay? So guys, that's it, I'm all done. So don't forget to subscribe, like this video, you know, comment if you've tried it, let me know how it went. Or you can, as always, find me on other social media platforms and give me your updates there, request any videos that you'd like.